What's up, world? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast, and I'll be your host here, Chuck, as we are here to discuss Mr. Sheduer Sanders and his watch flex. As I said, this is going to start to spiral, and a lot of people are going to start to weigh in on this topic, and a lot of people are going to start to come to the forefront and just literally just blurt a lot of stuff out, right? But before we continue to talk about Sheduer Sanders and his watch flex, I want to ask you guys to do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell so you guys can continue to get the latest when I drop my sports media takes. Okay, Sheduer Sanders. I have said this in all of my videos covering the Colorado Buffs and Deion Sanders. I said that I believe Sheduer Sanders is a supreme talent, but the cockiness, the cockiness attitude that he has, and honestly, a kid who's already born rich is overdoing it. I mean, I'm just calling it like it is now. There's nothing wrong with him holding up the watch flex at the end of the game if he's with his team or in the press conference. Like, okay, just do your thing. But when you go out of your way, to purposely go to the stands now and literally hold it up and just do it in front of a massive group of fans for the opposite team. You know, it just says like, okay, that takes time, energy, and effort, because most head coaches don't coach that type of showboating. They say if you're gonna do it, be respectful. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's okay. You know, Johnny Manziel used to do the little money thing, right? And it was kind of cool. We know that Caitlin Clark does the wave, like, whatever, can you see me? She taunts her opponents, and it's more like it's a little annoying, but at the same time it's class. Just like Steph Curry does the shimmy or 1, 2, 3, 4 when he makes a 3-point contested shot, and you know it's an and one, right? So that's what I'm saying. If it was looked at in that manner, I'm sure this would be no problem. But because like this kid is always on the forefront, and for the life of me, it makes it more easier to kind of support this cause and agree with people on this because of Sheduer Sanders' antics. We saw, like, when they played Colorado State University, how Sheduer Sanders was holding a watch up in front of the coach. His dad was condoning that, like walking behind his dad, holding a watch up in front of the coach's face. That's still another grown man's son. And at the end of the day, you are a reflection of me. And I believe, literally, he is a reflection of Deion Sanders, because Deion Sanders condones that. And that's why I made the John Morant video saying that it's similar to John Morant and T Grizzly. I said T Grizzly. John Morant and T Morant, whatever his name is, right? That's his dad, right? His dad does not step in and intervene and be a father because they're more friends. And sometimes I see the same thing with Deion Sanders. But we're going to get into this report where they're literally talking about how this is a classless act, and pretty much how a lot of people are, getting fed up with this. But before I weigh in on continue to weigh in on my opinion, which I've been saying this for the longest, it's just now catching fire in the media. We're going to talk about this, right? And this is from SI.com. It says, I guess not everybody fully appreciates Sheduer Sanders' late game heroics, along with his now famous watch flash celebration. I've been calling it a watch flex. Okay, watch flash. It's a bold statement in pure entertainment, but Doug Gottlieb is done watching. Okay, and I like Doug Gottlieb because he was one of those old school people, and I used to see him come on Fox Sports a lot, especially on Colin Cowherd's show. Actually, I wonder why he isn't on that show anymore. He's one of those guys who's going to keep it real, and he's just cut from that old school fabric, right? So it goes on to say the Fox Sports radio host aired out his thoughts on the Colorado Buffs quarterback earlier this week. It came off as the latest shore guided at Sanders for the way he carries himself, right? And like I said, this is the same way this guy is thinking is exactly how these athletes are thinking in other college locker rooms. And there are a lot of people in the NFL waiting to really put their paws on Sheduer Sanders and really, humble him and show him that, hey, like what your dad allowed you to do isn't going to fly over here. And I can tell sometimes listening to Richard Sherman that because he really, tries to be supportive, but even he said certain things that has caught my attention where he's like, hey, You guys got smacked up. Don't go into another opponent's stadium, stepping on the field, giving them more bulletin board material. He often voices that. But we already know that the media is going to protect their guy, Sheduer Sanders, because of who? Deion Sanders has massive respect. So, it's okay to go against the grain and state how you feel about these certain things. But anyway, it says, and this is from Doug, I'm done with Sheduer Sanders' watch thing, Gottlieb said. Walking over to the crowd is ultimate taunting. It's spoiled rich guy stuff. And if it was anybody else, that's what we would say about it. Now, of course, I agree with everything Doug is saying. And I'm a black man. But the truth is, this is going to be flipped because they're going to say, oh, it's because of the black guys holding his watch up that it's a problem. Well, no, honestly, I just feel like if I had a son, and because of the way I carry myself, I would say, hey, son, don't do that. Because all you're going to do is continue to make yourself a target. Just like the kid Travis Hunter. He got hurt because of you, Sheduer Sanders. People are putting hits out on your players because of you. You're not going to run across the field and catch the ball. You aren't going to be the person that's getting smacked. Yes, you might get sacked and feel that pressure here and there, but you are setting your teammates up to get smacked. So every time that they're inflicting damage and hurt on your teammates, it's because they have you at the forefront of their brains, ready to get back. And I agree with Doug because they say in life, nobody wants to hear the story of the guy who always had it easy. Most people aren't relatable to Sheduer Sanders. The truth is, a lot of people aren't relatable to Sheduer Sanders. We don't wake up into royalty. A lot of us aren't born into royalty. A lot of us will never see $5 million as an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, right? That is the blatant truth. And, when you go out your way, we see how Caleb Williams, look at Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams is a guy, supreme talent. He may win the Heisman for a second time this year because he's that good. I'm sure this guy has racked up millions in NIL. However, this guy does not celebrate like that. Yeah, he had the thing where he's painting his nails, and he do that every now and then. But it's because everybody's going to be all in his shit because of the detail with a guy of that caliber, right? But I agree with Doug that this stuff comes off as a rich kid feeling like he's untouchable. And a lot of you guys may not admit that, but that's the truth. 2, I don't really like that image of black people. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't like the image of black people acting like we ain't never had shit, right? That's the typical stereotype of us, acting like we ain't never had shit, and once we get shit, this how we act. I also want to go and point out the fact, like I did in my last video, where he said if it was anybody else, that's what we would say about it. Well, the truth is, I've watched how Shannon Sharp scolded Baker Mayfield. Shannon Sharp literally will say he's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's arrogant, and just because of the way that he talked, right? When Baker Mayfield came out and put the flag on the field in college, he got a lot of pushback. Skip Bayless loved it, though. Skip Bayless loved it, right? Shannon Sharp was the person saying, oh, no, that's not going to fly in the NFL. This guy is uncontrollable. He's out of control. Same thing with Johnny Manziel. Same thing he said about a lot of athletes. Cam Newton. Like, when Cam Newton celebrates and does his, pull out, the Superman thing and, flash the, like the Clark Kent pose, that was overrated. People said that he's a distraction. People said that the way Cam Newton dressed was a distraction. Here you have a guy who literally runs down the field to the opposite competition and watch flashes them. So I would ask this, okay, so if you guys scolded Baker Mayfield for having professional commercials too early and for having the wrong type of attention too soon, why aren't we saying this about Sheduer Sanders? You see what I'm saying? You see, it's always cool to support what everybody else is supporting. But if you really just think about stuff on your own and think for yourself, maybe you guys could come out and make videos like this, because I don't care about the flag. I just tell my truth on how I see it. A lot of people like to say I'm hating, but I'm not hating. I'm just telling you, I would like Sheduer Sanders a lot if he just balled out. His talent shows. I'm not taking nothing from his talent. His talent shows the guy is a gamer. He's a baller. Okay. But Deion Sanders isn't going to be your head coach in the NFL. And what if you get drafted to somewhere like the Patriots, where that's pretty much NFL boot camp? No quarterback is really happy there. You see what I'm saying? You're not really preparing yourself for the next level by doing these things. And NFL scouts who are there are looking at that stuff. Yes, we saw the guy from Atlanta saying we want the Sheduer Sander'S brothers, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to that rich white man in that office, and he's going to pretty much give it a yes or no. You know what I mean? And I doubt that they get both. They just may get one, and that's okay. But ultimately, what I'm saying is I agree with Doug Gottlieb that he does need to chill out a little bit. That's just my opinion. Just chill out a little, temper it down. You don't even got to stop the watch flash. Temper it down, because now you got all this egg on your face. You holding your wristwatch up, but you let a 1-14 come and walk you down. That's embarrassing. When you are holding up that watch flash like that, you better be spanking ass every week, right? But it just so happened that last night, these guys got a dose of reality where they were embarrassed. So let's finish up here where it says Gottlieb thinks the media is scared to call out Sanders for his antics in fear of being called a hater. He was more trying to spotlight the media lack of opinionated news coverage. And that's exactly what I just said. Exactly what I just said. Because the truth is, Deion Sanders is so much beloved and so much liked. Skip Bayless, Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, they really dance around the truth. And they dance around the truth because you're not going to probably get a lot of ratings hating on Deion Sanders. And whether you're hating on Deion Sanders, it's good to just talk about Deion Sanders. And the fact that Skip Bayless has covered Deion Sanders, and he's a diehard Cowboys fan, and Deion Sanders helped him achieve a Super Bowl and win it, he's not going to go against Deion. Playmaker played with Deion. He's not going to go against Deion. Keyshawn Johnson literally wore all black and was supported both teams when his college team USC played the Colorado Buffs. What? Bro, I may like you. When it comes to my alumni, I'm going to support my alumni. And if it's meant for us to be friends, we will still be friends. That was just very weak on Keyshawn Johnson's behalf. So we're going to talk about how Skip Bayless and all these guys in the media dance around the truth. And the truth is that a lot of people do feel like Doug, but they're not going to come out and say it because they're afraid of backlash. And like I said, this country will never be America or true America because the cancel culture has everybody afraid to just voice how they feel. The truth is, you're not going to be liked by a lot of people. Even if you think you're supporting the thing that's right, somebody else is going to think that you're wrong. And if you support something that's wrong, somebody else is going to think that you're right. So it's no win. You may as well just tell your truth. And I'm glad that people in the media are starting to just come out and expose other media people who are afraid to tell the ugly truth. And they go on these shows and they defend him and they say like, oh, well, it's because he's black and he does this and that. Okay, well, there are a lot of black kids playing in college right now. There are a lot of black kids who are doing great things. There are a lot of black quarterbacks who are out here balling and probably a lot better than Sheduer Sanders. You don't hear their names at all because they are coached to keep things down. They know what NFL scouts are looking for. Now, if NFL scouts are looking for a show, box office, then maybe Sheduer Sanders is the guy. You know what I'm saying? But everything changes on that NFL level, and you guys know that. So, like I said, man, I do agree that at times this comes off as a little classless, and it's not a good look. And you guys think that a lot of people are supporting of this when you just saw LeBron James come out and literally say like, I agree with JJ Redick, And JJ Redick is a person who tells it like it is for the most part, but he got backlash because he came out and was like, hey, like, why are you guys covering things that's supposed to be in the locker room? The locker room is supposed to be sacred with the whole Joel Embiid and 76ers thing, but they say that it wasn't in the locker room, so we'll go with that. But anyway, you saw LeBron James come out and express and echo that because deep down, he doesn't like it. So that's all I'm saying, man. Like, this is a classless act at times because of the way Sheduer Sanders goes about it. Like I said, temper it down, man. Like, you just got embarrassed Friday night. So in my opinion, you should work on that, because all you're going to do is give people a reason to talk about you and not support you when you are a good kid and you deserve to be supported. But don't make the media turn against you, because we see what Zach Wilson is going through in the NFL, the way the media is jumping on him, right? Okay, just remember, everything comes back full circle. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy who used to have a messed up image in the media because of his arrogance and the way that he talked post-game conferences and stuff like that. So I will warn Sheduer Sanders, man, if you really want a football career, you got to temper it down, and you got to know when to execute and when not to execute the watch flash, because these NFL scouts want a professional, not an immature kid who feels like they have to go out of the way to defend daddy. Daddy is going to get, he's earned his. So he's proven, no matter what somebody said about Deion Sanders, he's proven. It will behoove Sheduer Sanders to just kind of temper it down and make football football. You see what I'm saying? Now, when you go on 5-0, 6-0, okay, hold that watch up. Do your thing, baller. Do your thing. You see? But when you doing it just because of who your dad is, because the truth is, Sheduer Sanders, if you were a regular kid with the last name Sanders and Deion wasn't your dad, you would not get that cover. You would not get that coverage. That's the truth. So that's all I'm going to say about that, is that I support Doug Gottlieb on this. Let me know in the comment section if you do, or if you don't, let me know why. Either way, let me know how you guys feel. Like always, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know how you charge to the game. Peace.